Listen, yeah, show me answer before we even started. Hi, good morning. It's so good to see you right here on Your World. My name is Winnie Lubembe, and today is Thursday. And as per usual, every trendy Thursday, we talk about things that are important that we should be aware of, or, you know, things that are trendy. But since it is the second week technically, yeah, of January, we want to have a conversation on money and career and New Year goals, and what we should really be mindful about, because like we said, we're dedicating this entire week to just setting goals and what goals should we be really keen to include in our New Year goals, and especially when we're talking about money today, because we'll be looking at money, we'll be looking at investments, and we'll be looking at careers as well. So it's gonna be an amazing show. You need to stick around until the end of the show to really understand what are some of the things that you really need to consider when it comes to your money, because we're saying 2026, we're making money moves, okay? And we're talking about big money moves that matter. So yes, let's stick around until the end of the show. If you have a question, feel free to indulge us or engage with us at NTV Kenya across all board is how you can reach us, or better yet, use our WhatsApp number, and that is 0112 500 400, and let us know, okay, what is that big money move that you want to make in this year? What are some of the mistakes that you did probably last year that you do not want to repeat in this new year? And what are some of the risks that you're willing to take, and especially when it comes to investment or even career moves? What is that big risk that you're willing to take this year, and that is 2026? So I look forward to going through your feedback, but we also have a question for you this morning, and I really like this question. It's very simple, okay? So let me just read so that I don't say my own things as far as the question of the day. And the question goes, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be, okay? If you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? I'll be going through your feedback as well as we continue with the conversation this morning at NTV Kenya across all board, and tag me at Lubembe_Winnie, or better yet, use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400 and tell us what is that one money mistake that you want to avoid this year, okay? So before that, let me introduce my guests for today and this morning, a very diverse panel. And on my immediate left is this man who created a bit of chaos last year online as far as investment and what you need to invest me, maneno ya shamba, okay? And we'll still talk about that even in today's conversation. Stan Agache is a real estate investor as well as a wealth strategist. Good to see you.
Good to see you
Happy
too.
New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
How is the year so far?
So far, the year is fantastic. We are winning.
Yes.
This morning, we have 6,700 registered community members from 23 countries. The nation is growing. We are vibrant. People are building wealth.
Let me tell you, we have to
take off like a jet.
So we said 2026, it is that year, yeah? Where we're making big money moves and whatnot. That is really good to hear.
It's
and there's something that you said before we came on air, that we need to fight poverty. Poverty must be...
we have to slaughter poverty early in the morning.
We have to slaughter poverty early in the morning.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Stan. Karibu sana. And we also have Irene Nyaga, who's a career coach from and also managing director at Hallmark Institute of Professionals. Good to see you. How are you?
Awesome.
Karibu sana. Your first time here on Your World, right?
Yes, first time on Your World.
How are you feeling?
Awesome, fantastic to the world.
Oh, I like that. I really like that. And the new year, how's the new year so far for you?
It started on a very high note.
Good.
It is that time when we are resetting ourselves, we are setting our goals, and just looking forward to a fantastic year. And for me, it has started on a very high note.
We love that. We really love that. Positivity and optimism as far as the new year is concerned. All right. And we also have Susan. She's not new to us right here on Your World, and even I want to believe to you too as well. Because Uko social media, she's making a lot of noise, especially when it comes to money and finances and the choices that we need to make. Susan Wanjiku, who's a personal finance coach and also from the Legacy Hub KE. Good to have you this morning.
For having me.
The last time you were here is when? 2020?
I think 2023 actually, yeah.
Almost the same time, right? Because it was the beginning of the year. How are you? Have you been?
I'm amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy, I'm blessed. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, and thank you so much for coming. Also, New Year has started on a positive note. Good note.
For sure. It's starting slow. I start my years very slow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Very slow. Picks up momentum gradually. Yeah,
and sometimes slow is good.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
For sure. Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah.
We like that. Let's just start with you, okay? Money. We have diverse relationship and attitudes as far as money is concerned. And I know even when setting goals and intentions for the year, money is usually a very big factor. There's some people who are looking to either increase their income, probably want to start businesses. There's some people who are like, okay, what else can I do with whatever I have, either to generate more from what I have, and others are like, I don't even know. Maybe at this point when it comes to money. So can we first of all just understand money from a basic level? Because there's some people who say money has to flow. Some of us are thinking, Mimi, I'm going to hold it. I am going to hold on to it.
Yeah. Okay, two things. Especially because it's the start of the year, I feel like you need to start with an audit. Like, some people do it towards the end of the year. Like, I prefer to end the year with, I'd already set goals for 2026 in December. But I don't like to assume that that's what everyone does. So a self-audit pretty much is just how was my money last year, like my relationship with money. And I think, because I like to be very, very practical, so what are some of the things you can audit on? So number one, what's my relationship with money? And your relationship with money doesn't have to have fancy words. It just what do you feel? What's the emotion you feel when you think about money? Are you anxious? Do you feel confident? Do you feel worried? So you see, that's a really, really good anchoring and starting point, because what you feel about money can say a lot. Like the first emotion or the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about money can tell you where you are with money right now. Because there are people who've started the year feeling very confident. They set their goals. They're like, this year I'm making 16 million, or next year I'm doing this, that, or the other. And there's someone who's just like, I don't know nothing. I just really don't know. Yeah. So I think that's a really good starting point. Audit. Yeah. So what do I feel about money right now? What did I do with my money last year that I can remember? Yeah, so I think also focusing on positives, like, because it's not all doom and gloom. So maybe you started a budget, that's a good thing. Maybe you opened that money market fund, even though you didn't fund it, but you opened. It's open, yeah, that's a good thing. So you see, starting from an audit perspective kind of like lets you know where, it's like we are doing a litmus test for where am I, and then of course, what did I not do so well, or what are some of the things I didn't achieve, etc. So you see, when you start from that perspective of an audit, now coming into the new year, you can now begin to say, okay, judging from how 2025 was, I will change ABC. And remember, it's not a money goal if it doesn't have a timeline and an amount. So don't just say, I'll do better with money this year. That's not a goal. It is, I will save 2,000 bob in a money market fund every year, or this year, every month. Yeah, you see, that's a very clear goal. Or I know I'm in debt right now, but I'm committing to pay 5,000 towards that debt every year. You see, so you're judging from how things went last year to now how you want to start with very small. Think big, but start small and start now.
I really like that, because majority of the times tunajipatia pressure because we want this big, grandiose goal, because you hear someone talking about, oh, me, I'm going to buy a car this year. Now you start feeling the same pressure to buy a car just because someone else mentioned that.
And there's nothing wrong with
start
that.
Small, think big, but start small. But
and
the
start
point
now.
is start and start now.
Yeah.
I like that. And talking about investment and wealth creation and wealth generation and building wealth standpoint, and also just bringing money into it as well. Like we said, a lot of people either get intimidated or we're like, okay? So when we're thinking about wealth creation and investment opportunities, what are some of the things that you'd want people to really think about this year? And then we'll come back to understand that also when it comes to careers.
Fantastic. That's a beautiful question. And after coming here severally, now I am a bit more measured. I'm even on timer right now. Because I don't want to release an academic paper here. But I'd say that foundationally there are two consciousness that you have to develop if you're going to build any wealth anywhere. The first consciousness is the consciousness that deals with purpose. Are you alive to the reality that you are here intentionally on purpose, that you are strategically equipped to perform at a very high level but in particular spaces. Have you defined that space? The second one now, after you fix your purpose, once you come to a place where you have discovered your purpose, the number 2 thing that you must come to terms with and very early in the morning is what I call wealth consciousness.
Wealth consciousness.
Wealth consciousness is the mindset that presupposes that, number 1, anybody can build wealth. So you first must get in the game. Whatever mindset you are carrying currently, if that mindset does not allow you to believe that you deserve it, you're in the bush. So the first thing is you need to come to a place where you believe wealth can be built by anybody. Number 2, building wealth is neither difficult nor complicated. So that the idea is that anybody, you have to come to the reality where anybody can you come to idea, anybody can do it. Remember again, the only place you'll ever go is the place where you're able to conceptualize. And it will be a very painful journey for many of us because the person you're really fighting is not economics, the person you're fighting is you. Before you come to the place where you realize you can do it, you're not ready to build wealth. I call it wealth consciousness. In our community, there are only 2 ranks. The first rank, it's either you're asleep or awake.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. And the problem is you can be earning $4,000, but you're completely, as far as wealth is concerned, you're completely asleep. We found something very interesting in data, that individuals who have the ability to make a lot of money have the worst money behaviors. In fact, many of them are completely asleep. If you began to check what's their debt to net worth ratio, if you began to check how are they paying for their lives, you will be completely shocked. So for me, I'd say, in order for you to start your journey in 2026, if that's what you want to do, discover your purpose first. And then number 2, come to the place of wealth consciousness, that I am on a journey, and this journey needs to start today. And by the way, not taking the journey does not mean you won't suffer the consequences of not taking it. This is one journey that you have to enter. It's a question of when.
Okay, I like that. And we'll explore more on that. And I like the fact that both of you have started with understanding our attitudes and where we are at, and especially when it comes to either money or wealth creation. Stan talks about purpose, okay? And a lot of people struggle with that, and especially when it comes to careers, because we're told, find something that is your purpose, and then, or your passion. And when you're passionate about, it doesn't even feel like work. It is, you know, it feels like you enjoy what you're doing, and it doesn't feel like work. And a lot of people struggle with that because they're like, but I have to pay bills. So sometimes I'm in a place where I don't like, but since it pays the bills, we just stay there, okay? So careers in 2026, what is it that we should really think about and be mindful about and take action now?
Fantastic. I would actually want to start from that point where sometimes you do things just to survive. I would say for a moment it's okay. But you can't do that forever. There's a model I use, I call it ASAR. A-S-S-A-R. It's about assessing where you are, who you are, what you have, who you have, who you are becoming, what you need, and all those W's. Once you have ascertained that, and this is the right time to do that, it's still early in the year. Of course, ideally we should have done that as we were sliding into the year that was December, but January is still the ideal time. And just to agree also with what they are saying, assess, where are you, who are you, what are you becoming, what do you have? Then from there, you set, once you have assessed, then you set the vision. The vision is the long term. What do you want to become? What do you want to do with yourself? Once you have done that, then you have to set the strategies. After setting the strategies, then you have to do what we call action. Because strategies without action will just remain what he calls papers. And then after actioning, you have to keep now reviewing. When you're reviewing, you're asking yourself, is it working? If it's not working, why is it not working? If it's not working and I know why it's not working, what do I need to do differently? And if it's working, then you repeat. Keep doing it. And the danger we see, especially in the career, is where we find someone who feels, now I have arrived. I am making these millions. I set a goal to make 15 millions, like she said, in this year. The moment you make that million and you think you're making it, then you're in a disaster, another disaster. The thing is, once you get to that point where you think I have made it, then you start asking yourself, what do I again need to do to get to the next level? So we are in a season where we need, even in career, to make all the money and to make all the wealth, we have to start by assessing where we are at. We have to set the vision, we have to set the strategies, we have to put them into action, and then finally review and ask ourselves, how are we doing? And keep adjusting accordingly.
I really like that. I mean, we're due on a break, but probably when we come back, then we'd want to address, because there are different people at different levels and spaces when it comes to careers. Others are just out of school, they're looking for jobs. There are others who probably walianza kidogo and they're looking to progress, and there are others who are like, okay, probably I want to morph a little bit, right? So how then do we set our intentions based on where we are at? And even with money, understanding the different money personalities, you know, that we have. So how do I know my money personality, and how do I set my intention as far as money, you know, my money personality is? And even for investments, last year tuliona real estate, sisi wote we are buying apartments, but is that the only you know, form of investment? So looking at the trends in 2025 and 2026, what is it that you'd like people to really open their minds about when it comes to investments and wealth creation? So there's so much to come on the other side of the break, but also remember the question that we're asking you this morning, and that is a very, very simple question, and that is, what is that one mistake that you're looking to, you know, fix this year as far as money is concerned? Okay, what is that one mistake that you want to fix this year as far as your money is concerned? All right, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? I'll be looking at your WhatsApp messages as well as on our digital platforms at NTV Kenya across all board. But all that is coming up after the break. All right, welcome back. Glad to stay with us. 32 minutes past the hour. The conversation today is 2026 money moves, and we're looking at setting goals that align with who we are as far as finances is concerned, because we saw a lot of things happen last year and the years before, and there were a lot of conversations around how Kenyans, we are the worst when it comes to savings and investments and all those things. So I really hope that the numbers are actually getting better. But at the same time, even when it comes to careers, a lot of people are like, there are no jobs. So what do we do? Mimi nilienda campus nikasoma, nimekaa 10 years, hakuna kazi. Okay, so then how do we you know, set our intentions and our goals as far as our careers is concerned? Either maybe you want to get into the field, or probably you've been there for a while and you're looking to either morph, or you're looking to progress as well when it comes to your career. So what are some of the moves that you need to be put in place? And even when it comes to money as well, how do you even know? First of all, when it comes to your spending habits and your investment habits as well, and what you need to achieve, you know, say by the end of the year or 5 years to come, what are some of these options or opportunities that are available that we need to tap into? So there's a lot that we're discussing today, even as we set our goals and our intentions for the year 2026 as far as money is concerned. But we are asking you a very simple question this morning, okay? And the question of the day goes, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? Okay, if you could just fix one money mistake, tuseme 2 or 3 or 5, just one. Okay, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? We'll be going through your feedback in just a moment. But Susan, let's just tackle the whole money personalities and how that should factor in when it comes to our goals and intentions. And again, something else that we really should consider putting in our goals and intentions as far as money is concerned this year, based on probably the trends that you saw last year.
Okay. So I'm going to take you back a little bit, okay, because money personalities is a factor of your own personality. Like your money personality can't be very different. It's
not like two different things. Exactly. Like there's the personality and money. I see.
Yeah. So when people come to the Legacy Hub Kenya and we are starting personal finance coaching, they get very shocked at the questions that we will do during onboarding and in the initial stages, because they're wondering, what does this have to do with money? You know, the way someone asks you a question, you're like, me nimekuja hapa kujua budgeting.
What's the connection?
So now you're asking me, am I an outgoing person? Yeah. What do I like to do in my free time and stuff like that? Yeah. And that is because, so to answer your question, I always tell people that when you want to change your finances, you have to change yourself first. So there's no, and this is where the people who really figure it out. Okay. That whole thing for Ati, there's my life and then there's finances, and then it's like those two are separate. It's messy. Okay. Because when I want to change my finances, I have to change myself, and that's because my money personality is fed from my individual personality. So quick self-awareness. Okay. class, we have 4 major personalities, like temperaments. We are not talking about money personalities, just overall temperaments, right? Okay. The 2 major distinctions are extroverts and introverts. I think Gen Zs talk about that a lot because all of them are introverts. They don't talk to people. Yeah. So we have extroverts and introverts, right? Yeah. Then under the extroverts, we have the cholerics and the sanguines. Okay. Sanguine is just, let's call that person the life of the party. Okay. Very happy people, has many friends. Yeah. Then we have the choleric. Susan, for example, is a choleric. Okay. Wakabi, us, we are just focused individuals, A students. We don't have fun. We are outgoing, but not in the fun kind of way. We are outgoing in the leadership kind of way. Okay. Yeah. I see. Then you have the introverts. The introverts have 2 also segments beneath them. Okay. So we have the melancholics and we have the phlegmatics. The phlegmatics are the most unbothered people in the world. They're just like, life will fix. Like,
is it like the happy, stress? Happy go? Okay.
By the way, they will never get lifestyle diseases, high blood pressure, those things. Like the world could be on fire and that person will just switch off their light and like they'll deal with it tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Then the melancholic, they're an introvert, but they're a deep feeler, very analytical kind of a person. Yeah. And then beneath that, there's 16 other personalities from the 4. Okay. So that's self-awareness. And honestly, this year, guys, that's one of the things I'd encourage someone to, even before you start thinking about money goals. Because that feeds into how you'll handle money. That feeds into how you'll handle career. That feeds into how your perspective towards investments and wealth creation is, right? Now, I want to take a sanguine, for example. Okay. This person is very happy-go-lucky, right? They're outgoing. Do you know when we are out with this guy, they will actually offer to pay the bill for everyone. They will chafua meza for everyone, and it's not because they're a bad money manager. Okay. And that's why I tell people to have self-awareness. Okay. It's because that's who they are as a person. Like they're outgoing, so they're surrounded by people. Unfortunately, when you're surrounded by too many people, only 20% are for you. Most of the 80% are just because it's fun to be around. A fun, entertaining person. Yeah. So you will actually realize that now when we come to money personalities, most sanguines tend to be spenders. Okay. Yeah. So you see, you start actually connecting that connection, right? You'll find yourself being a spender, and there's nothing wrong. You see, we've never told extroverts to change from being extroverts or introverts to be introverts. Yeah. The power of self-awareness, and I like to say this: there is no point of you being self-aware if you're not going to do anything about that information. The point of self-awareness is so that it's not so that I can change myself. I'll never stop being who I really am. There are aspects I can work on and improve on, but my personality stays and remains, right? Okay. So the thing about money personalities is that knowing them is not just about you changing. You'll never, a spender is a spender. Pesa uta, Stan can tell us about that. Yeah, pesa uta, a spender. I'm telling you, a spender, even when they don't have money to spend, they will find the money to spend. Whether it's going to be borrowed or whether they are going to go out and work so that weekend they can go out, they will spend. And a holder can have, as Stan is saying, like a holder can have 16 million and they will hold. So the point of awareness is not so much so that you can change, but you are aware so that you can ask yourself 2 very important questions. Okay. What are the strengths of my personality, of my temperament that I need to capitalize on? Okay. So be aware, because every personality has a strength. Yes. God didn't create us without. He's a wise God. He knows it's by design. It's intentional that I'm the way I am, or that he's the way he is, or that she's the way she is, right? So it's for you to know, what are the strengths or the skill sets of someone who has a temperament like mine or a personality like mine, but also what are the weaknesses that I need to be aware of. So you see, when we are doing budgeting with my clients and I find out you're a spender, I don't have a problem with you being a spender. Okay. What we will do is that we'll put systems and structures in place to help you still be able to accommodate for who you are, but also work on the weaknesses that come with that. So this person, number one, we will automate your savings. You can't convince yourself to save. Stop it. Guys, just don't fight against nature. A spender spends, okay? Rarely do they save. But imagine most of my clients who are spenders, they save. You know why? Because we've automated that decision for them. Exactly. So you don't have to wake up and debate with yourself every end month when that kasalo enters and you're wondering, amani save next month. You see, so when you learn yourself, you're like, okay, I'll put a standing order to my pension fund, I'll put a standing order to my MMF, like and then we'll have a specific card, and we call that card for guilt-free spending. You go out and we've put a limit to it. You're like, okay, so I want to spend 20,000 on drinks na mayengs every month. So what do? We
put a limit to it.
We put a limit to it. So it's about personality. Is not something that I like to lean towards sana, because we don't want to use that as an excuse to do things we are not supposed to do.
I see that. You know what? That makes a whole lot of sense when you really think about it, because most of the time we want to separate the two, and sometimes you can't. You really can't. And Stan, does the same factor in when it comes to investments? Because we hear a lot of high risk, low risk, apo katikati and whatnot when it comes to investments, and also the opportunities that are available that we need to broaden our right? And especially this year.
Thank you very much for that beautiful question. In our community, there are two personalities. So once we do the good work that she has talked about, which are your the foundation of your personalities. When it comes to wealth now, there are only two personalities. It's either you are an assassin to your future or you are a midwife to your future. So
wait, say that again. Either you're
an assassin to your future or you're a midwife to your future.
What do they even mean, especially the midwife?
Yes, so the midwife is a birth motivator or a birth helper. You're able to support the birthing process of your financial journey by the structure that you're putting in place. So we know whether you are a midwife or an assassin purely based on your structure. For instance, did you know what she said? That having automated savings and investments makes you outperform those who don't. When you look at net worth acceleration, individuals who have automated savings and investments outperform those who don't. Guess by what percent? 70%. That automation. Remember, finance is behavior first. So you will
not how much you
have. Your wealth journey will never outperform your pedestrian thinking. It will never outperform your pedestrian consumption. So if you're in pedestrian consumption, baby, you are an assassin to your future. So what happens is when you come alive to that reality, that it's either I am an assassin to my future or I'm a midwife to my future, all of a sudden every shilling becomes a vote. So it's either you're voting for your future or you're voting against your future, but not both. You can only be doing one at the same time. In 2026, if you are below $100,000 in net worth, you want to go for those investments that are extremely high liquidity. And the reason is individuals who have high liquidity outperform those who don't by 45%. As far as net worth acceleration is concerned, we have the privilege of having the first IP African wealth formula. And the subject of inquisition there was, what are those variables that have the highest impact on your net worth and on your net acceleration, which has now become the wealth test at Cora Wealth. That's how you start your financial journey. And the aim there was to check off the variables that determine your net worth. Which ones have the highest power? Is it income? Is it liquidity? Is it surplus behavior? What variable has the biggest shift on your net worth? So if you are below $100,000, it means you're behind time.
Sema Kenyan shillings ndo
13 million. Unajua nilikuwa nafikiri NTV is global.
No. Watu
If your net worth is below 13 million shillings, about 13 million shillings, it means then that you have to be on those investments that have high liquidity, number one, and number two, they should have an aggressive return. And I'll tell you why. The reason is this: just because you have commenced your financial journey does not mean you'll arrive. Just because you started this journey does not mean you arrive. So we have to compute, and I'm sure they do it. You have to compute what is the possibility of you achieving financial independence. Because the idea of financial independence is being able to pay for your life without lifting a finger. So we have to then compute, okay, so if you're below $100,000, how soon are you going to get to $100,000? What is that journey looking like? So you will find that in those times, your portfolio choice has to be high on equities because of the growth possibility. Your portfolio choice has to be high on special funds because of the growth possibilities and so on. When you go above 13 million net worth, above 14 million net worth, you now begin to enter into those portfolios that are income assets and are stabilizing assets now. Because your net worth has grown, now you want to start pulling out a monthly income, as it were. But for many of us, we are below $100,000. Now, let me give you some 3 things you should avoid if you're below $100,000. Number 1, avoid, if it is too exciting, it's not investment. Proper investment is extremely boring, and loudly so. So anything that excites you and catches your attention, and it looks like money is now talking, you should do it now, and there's urgency, that's not yours. Look at the emeritus investor, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said true wealth grows in silence and in boring situations. It's extremely boring. When the financial planning is full of gymnastics and excitement, you are about to lose your money. Here's number 2. If you are below $100,000, do not touch land. Go and sell land, because that creates a negative drag on your acceleration. Number 3, you want to focus on cash flow positive investments. If you're below $100,000, because what's happening is, let me show you the math. If you have a portfolio of, let's say, 13 million shillings, and maybe you have real return of about 10%. So that is the return after inflation. So that's 1.3. If you divide that by 10, 12 months, you are at about 100,000 shillings a month. That's beautiful life for anybody. But did you know all of us here can achieve that reality?
We can.
Absolutely, because many of us, especially if you are 40, just compute how much money you have touched from the time you are 20 to the time you've touched that money. Precisely. I'm just saying one more thing and then I close. So in our community, 1 million nation, if you are below 50, you're living on 50%. If you're below 30, you're living on 30%. And the idea is we changed our mind about income. Before you're financially independent, income is not income. Income is capital. So in 2026, those are the things you should consider. But the final one, I must say this one here so that I pass the mic now. In 2026, one of the things that you also need to look at is tokenized real estate. And the reason is, if you look at studies, World Bank study of 2023 has now demonstrated that 60% of the world's portfolio are held in real estate. Real estate has been demonstrated to be the sure bet of minting millionaires. Real estate, because of that gradual growth and the growth, even in war-torn countries, the real estate value is increasing. So the point is, because of such a high value of entry into real estate, what's happening, you're beginning to see startups that are coming around. How then can we buy one apartment, 10 people? How can we buy one apartment, 20 people? I'm on a mission to buy 10,000 apartments for our community. And how we are doing it through tokenized real estate.
Well, actually, yeah, we would really want to understand how that goes, because it's true. Last year we saw a lot of people real estate. Sisi wote tumeenda hapo. The previous years was land. We all went there. I don't know what 2026 or 2027 will actually present. Cryptocurrencies and whatnot. Sisi wote tulienda hapo, and then we start crying at some point because there's a lot of things that we didn't understand, right? So we'll come back and understand what that looks like. And also speaking to probably young people who are watching us, maybe some ndo wamepata kazi yao ya kwanza, mshahara ya kwanza, and they want to understand what are some of the investment opportunities, because clearly they're below their $100,000.
Precisely.
You know? So then what are some of these opportunities for them? Or someone who is in the, like mid-career, and they're also thinking about investments, and also age, as well, which you talked about a little bit. But when it comes to careers, we've also seen a lot of people encouraging, and especially those ones who are in formal employment, to upskill, unlearn, relearn, retool, all those things. And we're just like, it's a lot. What do we do? So the opportunities that are there, and especially when it comes to growth, and also just thinking beyond our careers, beyond what we studied in school, and especially those ones who are just fresh from school. What is it that you really want them to focus on this year?
Fantastic. And I'll start by saying, by the way, the one thing that is a constant, whether you're talking making money, investing and all that, is the investment in you as a person.
Yes.
That is why we'll talk about unlearning, relearning and everything learning. Let me assure you, if you are getting tired about learning and your career growth, please take a deep breath. Okay. It's early. We are still early in the year 2026. Yeah. Take a deep breath and say, we are starting again.
Yes.
Because the greatest dilemma or the greatest tragedy that we can never have as individuals is when we stop learning, when we stop growing. We can invest in land, we can invest in different portfolios, but the greatest and the number one portfolio that you have to invest in is you as a person. And that definitely translates into your career. Why is that very important? The moment you have built you, nobody will ever take it away from you. Sure. Land can be taken away, it can fluctuate and all that, money and all that things can happen. But you as a person, the value that you add to you as a person, you become such an asset that you can never be replaced. Okay. It can never be taken away from you. Yeah. We can remove you from Kenya and take you to the jungle. You go with your knowledge, you go with your career, you go with the asset that you are, you will transform things around there. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful tool to transform individuals and the world. And so I believe as we continue to learn, and when I'm talking about education, I will say education and learning, because sometimes what we get tired about is you're like, now I've done my degree, I will need to do my master's, now I need to do my PhD. That is not the path for everyone. It's a good path, but it's important for us to understand. Even what we are doing right now is part of learning. So you can go academics, you can go professional, you can go, what we call micro-learning. And that is why it's important for us, before we get tired about learning and improving ourselves and changing and improving our careers, let us get to understand what are we talking about. When you come to me as a career coach and at Hallmark Institute of Professionals, what we do, we look at you as a person, and that's why I'm enjoying this conversation, because we start by asking ourselves, who are we? What is my personality? By the way, the greatest thing that you can enjoy in your career, I know he said investing and all that, it is hard. Sometimes it looks like, do I have to deny myself everything? If you can find, and I'll say that about purpose. Purpose is one thing that keeps you awake. Yes. Purpose is one thing that when you have money, you will do, and when you don't have money, you will still do. Purpose is that one thing that excites you, besides the, the things that are external. So if you can find a career within your purpose, that is the greatest achievement. They say 2 days are very important in our lives. The day you are born and the day you discover purpose. Interestingly, you have no control about the day you are born. But about discovering purpose, to a great extent, you have a say. And that is why when you get a career coach, like myself and others in the industry, they should be able to sit with you, do the assessment. Remember, we talked about understanding who you are, what is your personality, what are your talents, what are your capabilities, and then build a career around that. The moment you get that, you will do it when you are tired, you will do it when you're not tired, you will do it when there is money, you will do it when there's no money. But if you can get, the moment you get that, and then on top of it, it begins to pay you, you can enjoy your life. You can give him the money to invest, and you can give her the, the portfolios to manage while you're doing what you're doing. Now, the other thing is about employability. For the people who are coming from colleges and universities, I talk about different levels of employability. The first one, the moment you finish your school and all that, you start by being employed. NTV, as your employer, they pay you the salary, they say what you do. One of the greatest mistakes people make is when now you get to NTV, they're your employer, you're enjoying life, and you get stuck. You must be looking out for the next level. And the next level, where you're thinking, can I also employ myself? The moment you employ yourself, it means now you are in control to a level, you're paying your own salary, and you can command a few things here and there. When you get there, I say, don't relax. Begin to think, can I also employ other people? And the moment you begin employing other people, you are yet to get to the highest level, which is entrepreneurship. And sometimes, I like what Vusi, the Bekwayo, says. He says sometimes people confuse self-employment and entrepreneurship. Those two are different. You can be employing people, paying them here and there, one company, that is good enough. But entrepreneurship is when you have set Nation Media, you have set Hallmark Institute of Professionals, you've set, you know, the business that they are doing, and you're employing other people, and you've let people actually run with your businesses. That is the ultimate. That is the highest level. And so the reason why it's very important for us to continue learning and to continue improving ourselves and to continue looking at the next level of your career and never think that you've reached the ultimate is that it comes with value. The more valuable you are, the more you have invested in yourself in a career, the more you make. And so career, investment, money making, they have to go hand in hand. You cannot separate them. And just maybe to conclude what we have all said, I look forward to a time when we will have one life. One life, I mean, I am Irene, I am an educationist, I am a career coach. When I'm in church, I am contributing that way. When I'm in my family, that is what I'm doing. So that I don't separate my personality and say, I have this personality by myself, but I have a different money personality. I look at investment differently. If I can have one life, I think I will have achieved it in life. And that begins by understanding who I am, understanding my personality, getting to know what is my purpose, and now building around that.
I'm really curious to understand, how do we get there? Is that even a possible? Okay, it's possible because you're saying, right? So the big question is then, how do we get there? And also still thinking about careers, right? We've had a lot of conversations about AI and technology and robots and how they're coming to take our jobs, and everybody's like, oh my days, what do I do? What, you know, all those things. So like in the near future, what would careers look like? What are some of the things that probably we need to think about, even as we're thinking about growth and progressing into our careers? What are some of those areas that you would encourage people to really, you know, focus on, even as we, again, like you said, continuous learning, right? But when it comes to finances, before we go on a break, because I know Jackson will be in my ear in the next few seconds, but I do not want to rush you into it, Susan, is then, so fine, understanding my personality, understanding my money personality, and then figuring out how I make my money work for me in that period, right? A lot of people would ask, and especially when it comes to like savings, and savings for different things. They're like, so when is the right time to start saving, and how much money do I need to have to start saving? Because a lot of people will be like, me, I only have 10K. I cannot save, you know, anything and whatnot. So when do we do it? How do we do it? And also is age a factor? Because we're told, okay, if you cast G beyond 35, beyond 40, this is what you need to do. So there's a whole lot that we'll look into that, you know, as we continue with the show. But I want to go through some of the feedback as far as the question of the day, and that is, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? Okay. So Huyo anasema, this is Purity Chef Kemoi, who says, discipline, protect my capital and avoid loss at all costs. Is it possible to avoid loss at all costs? Well, maybe we'll look into it. Kevin Wilson anasema, limit debt. Too much borrowing kills ambition. Okay. Mr. James anasema, betting. Betting this year. Okay. Mark anasema, reduce alcohol intake. Okay, I see that. Austin Stinos anasema, lending relatives and friends. None of them referred.
Where is the lie? Where is
the So they're not doing that anymore. And then Adi Kondoboy says, being so generous. And then Zaka Evans anasema, saving it for a better tomorrow. Okay, probably you're thinking about savings, maybe. John Okumu anasema, giving out money to girls instead of channeling them to other things. I mean, listen, it's a goal. We see you. Miruki Josiah anasema, impulse buying. And then Jeremiah Maku Jr. anasema, lending na forms za weekend. Hizo anaacha this year, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to see. But Jackson, are we due on a break, or should we continue? Okay, we're due on a break. All right, when we come back, we'll also go through your feedback on our WhatsApp number, and that is 0112500400. And like we said, we're live. So if you have a question and you want to channel that to our panelists, by all means, feel free to do so. But when we come back from the break, there's so much to uncover in terms of the mistakes that we need to learn and how to do better in 2026. So see you after the break. All right, welcome back officially in the second hour of the show, and we want to look at those mistakes and how do we correct them, because again we just don't want to say stop now, because there's some people who are like, but we've been doing this over time, it's what we know, it's what our bodies have become accustomed to. So then how do we shift that? And even especially when it comes to our attitudes, either towards money, towards investment, towards career as well, because there's some people who are like, me, I cannot be employed by anybody, me, I'm my own employer. Okay, but Coach Irene said, listen, employment, and especially when you're just fresh from school, it's not a bad thing, because you learn a lot of things other than the skills, but also leadership skills that you can take it to your, entrepreneurship journey, quote unquote. Okay, but even at that, so then, like we said, what are some of the things that we really need to tap into as far as 2026 is concerned, when we're making big money moves this year? Okay, and even as you think about that, the question that we're asking you today is very, very simple, and that is, what is that one mistake that you're looking to fix this year? Okay, what is that one mistake that you're looking to fix this year as far as money is concerned? Money, career, and whatnot. Feel free to engage with us at NTV Kenya across all board, or use our WhatsApp number 011-2500-400 and tell us what is that one mistake that you are fixing this year. And Stan, we talked about the $100,000, okay? And maybe someone is watching us and thinking, clearly I don't have that. Maybe don't need to graduate. Yeah. And I want to start investing as early as possible. What are some of these opportunities for different people at different levels, either in their careers, in their businesses as well, who are looking to really invest, but not having that pressure of, I have to have this much money for me to start investing?
Not having a plan has been the stage that has been responsible for the destruction of very many financial destinies.
Okay.
Not having a blueprint of exactly what is it that you're doing. Yeah. It is Sun Tzu who argued that seasoned winning battle generals will first win the battle on paper.
Okay.
Before they get into the battlefield. Okay. He went ahead to say that weak generals will get into the battlefield and then now seek to win. So the former has predicted the future, where the latter has left the future to chance. So how do you begin investing now? You begin investing now by having a plan. Okay. And that's what we do at 1 Million Nation. The gate is a quick score. You can even do it right now at corawealth.com. In 2 minutes, we will tell you exactly where you are financially. You have to, what you talked about. You must begin with analysis so that you know where you are. The idea is, once you have the analysis, you must now have a plan of action. Okay. So that you now begin
not just have a plan, because it's one thing to just have a plan.
It's a plan of action. It's a plan of action. It's a plan of action. So you now begin taking action against your desired financial future. Okay. I found a paper in Harvard Business Review that argued individuals who have at least 4 written down financial objectives have the possibility of going to now achieve 75%, listen to this now, of their life's plan. That once you fix your money game plan, you literally fix your life. So if you want to start today and you want to start your investment journey, a good place to begin is by having a plan in place. Do you know, if you have Ebola, let's say you have Ebola now, right? If I give you 1 kilo of malaria medication, you will not get well.
It will not help.
Because your financial journey is as unique as your fingerprint. I found a paper by Harvard Business Review again, 2022, and they argued that individuals who have crafted a plan that takes care of their own uniqueness and idiosyncrasies had a 68% chance of achieving all their financial objectives. So the first place is by having a plan. You need to have a plan with the proper validated mathematics that is able now to move you forward. Remember again, anything that you can measure, you can manage. Okay. And anything that you can manage, you can move. And that's Peter Drucker, management specialist. So it's critical that we begin by analysis and then we have a plan. Now, you've said you're the analysis and now you have a plan. By the way, this is where we start with all my mentees. Okay. Right now we do have mentees, something I like to say so much, you can't imagine. We do have mentees in 23 African countries, 6,700 registered of them. Starting from $100, that's about 13,000 shillings, all the way to whatever amount of money you have. So how do you start investing today? Wealth does not come by wealth is not built by what comes in. Wealth is built by what remains. So if what remains is what matters, it means then that it is the individual that matters the most. They have talked about a lot. So we are structuring you. So we begin structuring you by identifying you need to know your purpose, and then you're now pursuing wealth. As you build wealth, wealth is not built by income. Wealth is built by speed. No, wealth is built by structure. Sorry. Wealth is not built by income. Let me say that one more time. Wealth is built by structure. So many times you will find you don't have an income problem. You have a structure problem. You want to tell me you don't know all these uncles of ours who all their financial victories are in the past. I used to have so much money. I used to drive. I used to go which first class air. They'll even tell you in detail, and it is true. But where is the money now? You see what I'm talking about? So you want to go hard on. You want to go hard on structure. Now remember again, if you're going to hard on, just put one thing. For instance, you can say now, and this is where we start many of our mentees, for the next 90 days, we just need a consistent saving rate, just for the next 90 days. Because the objective is to now build the structure in you that will now build wealth. Investments that you can consider in 2026, whatever you do, make sure you have real estate in your portfolio. Whatever you do, make sure you have real estate in your portfolio. Number two, whatever you do, make sure you have government paper in your portfolio. That is the bonds. Ensure you are in the bonds play, whatever you do. And then number three, whatever you do, make sure next year at a time like this, the only thing that changed is not your age. Let your intelligence also upgrade.
Okay, constant learning. I see that. Age, where? Okay, I see that. When it comes to money as well, right? A lot of people will say, but we are living in uncertain, times right now, and we're actually heading into the political year campaign in Aza Vizuri, and then next year is the elections. So there's a lot of instability. There's a lot of uncertainty. So then how do I make sure that, number one, either yes, I grow my finances, but I'm also very wise when it comes to where I am putting my money to prepare for uncertainty, because we're living in uncertain times, and even considering economy through the roof. And how do we, and also for the people who are just struggling to even make ends meet, and they're looking to either saving or to investing as well.
I say the wealth creation journey is simple but not easy. So I like to do it in 3 steps. The first step is making money. This I think Stan mentioned keeping money, and then the third is multiply money. Like whoever you are, that's the formula. You can't invest money you don't have. So we first of all, and I think that's where she comes in. I love that she said, like, thinking outside of the box of our careers. Just because I went to school and this is the course I did, it's not like cast on stone that I must do that. And for me, self-employment is what did it for me in terms of like being able to scale what I'm earning, right? So you have to make money. Then now, you see now that gap between making money and keeping money. Hapo ndo kizungumkuti iko, and I love that Stan already talked about structure. So I'd like to simplify a few things that he's just mentioned. Just for, I'm a coach, I must coach. So what is structure in very simple terms? Like a basic structure that everyone needs to have. A simple budget. That's a structure, right? So, and I think the way we've understood budgeting also is just a whole other thing. Do you know I had to talk myself into understanding budgeting a different way for me to start budgeting? Because for the longest time, I used to think I earn too little to budget. And I know people who think that there's a level of wealth you get to that you stop budgeting. So we have both ends of the spectrum have a problem. So what exactly is budgeting? A budget is just simply put, it's an intentional spending plan. Who does not want to be intentional? Everyone wants to be intentional. Exactly. But then you see when someone tells you, like when you understand it in most people hear budgeting and they're like, they're already feeling intimidated. Yeah. So so you need So remember when we said check in on your emotions. What's the first thing you feel when you hear budgeting? It will tell you what you've understood about budgeting. You understand? So if you feel anxious, you feel disempowered, you feel there's all those things, it will tell you. But simply, a budget is an intentional spending plan. So that's what I would encourage anyone to do today.
Okay.
What would I want my money to do for me? So you say you've not been disqualified. Whether I have 10,000 monthly or 10 million monthly, I can ask myself, this money that's coming in every month, what would I want it to do for me? Being intentional. So we call it personal finance because it's very personal. So that's step one. So what should be on your budget? And I think that's really, really important. So for someone who's just starting, obviously most of us think we have a budget, but what we have is a list of bills. So that's not a budget. So I know you already have, you know what your rent costs.
Yes. But I don't have to write it down.
Yeah, you don't have to maji, stima, internet. That's not a budget. That's a list of bills. So what should be on your budget? Okay. So obviously the list of bills is a component of your budget, but it's not the full budget. Okay. So savings and investments. And guys, what is the difference between saving and investing, right? So saving is capital preservation, while investing is capital multiplication. So when I'm saving, I'm just trying to really retain what I have, right? But when it comes to investing, I'm trying to, okay, I put 50,000 in here, the 50,000 has been multiplied to 80. So I've invested, right? So both savings and investments will be there.
In the budget.
Yes. So we have your list of bills, we have your savings and investments, we have any debt obligations that you have, and I always recommend, no matter how little you earn, please have what we call a once budget, a guilt-free spending budget. It could even be 200 bob for your smoky passoa, but just simply because you don't allocate it on your budget does not mean you won't spend it. You must, you will spend it. The only thing is that you'll be wondering, kwani pesa yangu inaendanga wapi? But then you see you've hidden things from your actual budget. You're spending on them, but you're not accounting for them. You're not accountable for that money. So savings, what should you start with? A simple money market fund. I believe, you see, like how Stan is like, you must have real estate
in your portfolio.
That's how it sounds.
Yeah, that's how, it's like he wants to chopper us. So a money market fund, why I'm such a believer in money market funds is because you kill two birds with one stone. You save, and at the same time you're kidogo investing. You understand why? Because you're getting an interest that if you chose a good money market fund, it will compensate you for inflation. So it's important that you know where we are at in terms of inflation in Kenya. So just to assist anyone watching, don't do anything that's giving you less than 7%. So that could be your fixed deposit accounts, your whatever. That's you're losing, because you see, if inflation grew by 7% and your money in a fixed deposit account grew by 5%, you've literally not even been compensated for inflation. You're at -2. So a good rule of thumb, anything above 9, 10, 11%. So for the guys who don't want to lose money, they're just like mimi, sijafika kwa $100 million, $100,000, but I want a small starting. Like again, as we say, think big, start small, start now. So a money market fund. There are money market funds in Kenya where you can start with as little as 100 bob. Did you know that, Winnie? 100 shillings. And you're earning an interest of around 9 or 10 or 11% on a compounding basis, right? So literally anyone watching us today can start a simple money market fund. What should it do for you, the money market fund? You should have what we call an emergency fund in there. And what that does, and everyone, this is now, everyone needs to have this. Ideally, we define it in finance as a savings account that has at least 3 to 6 months of your total living expenses saved. And we said that because you can do all the fancy things in the world, but if losing your job gives you anxiety, like right now, if someone was to tell you, okay, done, go home, you're worried, like the thought of that makes you wonder, nita survive Nairobi kweli? You get? That's step number one, because there are steps. I think that's what Stan is also trying to teach us, that this structure has step 1, step 2, step 3. It's like how when we're in school, we were going to class 1. When you're done with class 1, you go to upper primary and high school. So that's step number 1. So that's what your MMF should be for. At least everyone, 2026, get an emergency fund in place. There's all these formulas that are online. Someone is saying 50, 30, 30-20, what percentage of my money should I invest. When I first started, because when I was working, I was earning around maybe 30,000. I lost my job. I became jobless and started doing freelance writing, and I was earning 10,000. So that's why I'm such a believer in budgeting, because I've done it from a very small amount of money. My commitment was just 10%. So we've committed to 10% for tithe.
For tithe, yes.
Yeah. It's just something, again, it doesn't have to be fancy. You can just decide 5% of my money will be going into this emergency fund, or 20% of what I earn will be going into this. So you see, you've taken away, you've shut out other people's noises and opinions, and you've actually just focused on what you can at this time. So you put your emergency fund in place. Once you've been consistent in funding that emergency fund, step number 2 is what we call a sinking fund, still on your budget. A sinking fund is, now, there are monthly bills that are given, you must pay for them. But there are also non-monthly bills that are given and they must be paid for them. For example, anyone with kids, parents, they know school fees must be paid for, right? So instead of me saying, running around in May, for example, the next school fees will be paid in April, May. Parents now have 4 months. So if my son needs 40,000 in May for term 2, what does that tell me? I'm trying to raise 40,000 in 4 months. If I divide 40,000 by 4 months, at least I have a system. I'm like, okay, so if I find a way to do 10,000 every month, by the time it's May, I'm not running around panicking. I already have that much. So you can, it's the same thing as Christmas. Christmas is 12 months from now, and I kid you not, on 24th, there's someone who will be acting like it wasn't coming.
We didn't even know how
Again, if I have 2,000 bob right now, in December, I'll have a whooping 24,000 that's not coming from my salary to just chop for Christmas. That's the idea of a sinking fund. Okay. The third thing, now we are saying on this, let's say you have a Excel sheet and you're like, okay, so which savings and investments am I budgeting for? So we've started with saving for your emergency funds and your sinking funds. Finally, and this is non-negotiable, a pension fund, a retirement fund. Pension is not just for employed people. According to a study that was done by ISPAC in 2018, 76% of Kenyans will retire poor. 76% of Kenyans will retire poor. And you see, when this study was actually taking into account employed people. Formally employed, because they're the ones who have a formal pension system. You understand? First of all, we don't save enough. The 200, the 1,800, the 2,400, that's not enough. You need to work backwards to understand, okay, by the time I am 50 or 60, how much money will I be needing coming in every month? 100, 200. And then you see, most of us think because 100,000 is enough right now, we've not considered inflation for the next 30 years. And because of that, I always tell anyone who's listening to me that is in their 20s and 30s, I don't like to practice ageism, but they're the luckiest people. Even when my clients come and I just realize you're under 35, I'm like, you should have started this yesterday, because as you age, it gets more expensive. So the narrative that we have that, let me wait until I'm much older, when I have more stability to begin contributing, I'll be in trouble, right? So those 3 things, a personal pension fund in Kenya for anyone, you can contribute as little as 1,000 bob. So literally, as long as I can hustle hapa na pale, si lazima ukuwe employed. Most of our insurance companies have a personal pension fund. You just go to them and you contribute at your own pace. If you don't have money this month, si lazima, you can skip. So you see, that's a very simple structure. That's what I call covering your bases. An emergency fund covers me in the now. A sinking fund covers me in the next couple of months, because things will be coming up in 2026. And a pension fund covers me when I'm most vulnerable. So once you've built that structure, sasa Undo your guy. Sasa from there now you get into get into your stocks. There's something that he said that I thought was so powerful. Like, for example, the fractional real estate. It comes in different ways. We now have real estate investment trusts. They work as unit trusts, the same way we have money market funds. And even with those ones, with as little as 1,000 to 5,000 bob, you may not be an owner of an apartment, but you can have a fractional ownership into real estate projects, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's so much we can do.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's just that people don't know. And I'm happy that you guys are here really to help people really understand. I'm sure for the template, mtu atauliza hapa, like, tutapata wapi hiyo template?
If you go on my website, the Legacy Hub Kenya, we actually have a very, very simple budgeting tool for 750 only. It's done for you. It's literally plug and play. So we've already done the work for you. All you have to do is just key in your numbers, and there's instructions for you to follow. I
see that.
Yeah.
When it comes to our careers, Coach Irene, there's some people who say, don't stay somewhere for more than 3 years. And then others will tell you, me, if I look at your CV, and every 2 years, umenda job ingine, I'll be like, can I trust this person? So a lot of people are like, so then what do we do? Do I stay in one place for 10 years because sasa mtu ataona mimi I'm trustworthy, or do I hop? And if I career hop, you know, what does that do to me, you know, as a potential employee?
Fantastic. And I want to start from where they stopped. They saying some of the musts that you must have 2026. I want to just add one so that I don't scare us. By the way, please, whatever you have to do 2026, I like what he said. Let it not be that by the end of the year only your age changed. Add some value to yourself by learning something different. Now, whether to hop or whether to stay, I want us to appreciate the generational transitions. We are coming from the old Generation X, and before then. We were the people who believed in staying forever. But I also want us to appreciate the current generation, Generation Gen Z, Gen Alpha. I am appreciating that these are people who have a lot of diversity. And by the way, I want to say a statement that you mentioned when we started. I hear a lot of there are no jobs in Kenya. Sorry to say, as I sit here, by the way, I don't believe that there are no jobs in Kenya. I believe there are so many jobs in Kenya, only that we need to be so capacity built, so personal developed, to be able to identify those capacities. When I hear someone saying there are no jobs in Kenya, I look at you from the point of, where are you? Are you in Kenya? Are we in the same Kenya? Let me put it this way. Are we in the same Kenya? Why am I saying that? We started from the point where before the computers, and this is also to answer to the question that you had asked, before computers came, we had people who were working, you know, manually, very comfortable, and then computers came, and there was a fear that computers were going to take jobs from people. That fear was a real fear. Yes, it took jobs from people, but those who were able to quickly adapt, they made more value with themselves. Now, we have a generation that was born now during computers. This generation, I normally, when I'm talking to the teens and the youth, I normally tell them, you guys are so computerized that for those of us who gave birth to you, we actually even Googled how to conceive you. We Googled how to conceive you. We Googled how to sustain you for 3 trimesters. We Googled how to deliver you. We Googled how to wean you after 6 months. You guys are just computer generation. And so the moment you came to our homes, you know, the generation that the moment the baby is born, before we even settle the baby and the mother in the delivery room and all that, someone is already reporting in the internet arrival of baby girl, baby boy, and all that. We are doing baby bumps, you know, shows and all that. These guys are so computerized. They are so technology guys that by the time they are born, they are into computers, they are into tech. They are born, and the moment they come to our homes, computers, TVs, this technology is their first nanny, is their first mother. They begin watching TV before they know how to look around. The moment they open their eyes and they can be able to see, in front of them is a screen. There's a TV, and that is what is happening. And with that, you realize that they have a lot of exposure. They get a lot of information, they get a lot of knowledge. There's an efficiency that they have an advantage of, that by the time you're saying, I don't know how to do this, or how, you know, it is almost an impossibility. But the other thing that comes into play, Winnie, is the dynamic about our education system. I don't like that education system that is only teaching people to get employed. It is good, and it is going to be employed. But I would request from the education perspective, we add an element where we are telling people, as you do your certificate, as you do your diploma, always be asking yourself, how can I employ myself? How can I be able to do things? How can I be able to add value? So that even now, by the time you're coming to me to look for a job, to ask me to employ you, you're not just coming to tell me, employ me because I need to be employed and I need to make money. You are coming to me from a different point where you're telling me, Irene, I'm looking at what you're doing and this is the value I think I can earn.
Okay.
I see if I see how Hallmark Institute of Professionals is earning and running and earning, I can increase your income from 10 million to 100 million. And with that, I will ask for this percentage. That is a different way of looking at things. But where does it come from? It comes from the point of view now knowing, learning, and getting all this information. So whether we are going to stay in one job forever or whether we are going to be hopping, I think especially for us who are from the old generation, we need just to appreciate and embrace the fact that we are in another generation that is enabling people to, you can do jobs in 3 years, you can do 2 jobs at the same time because we have the flexibility of the technology, which also means we are not limited to the 4 walls of this office. We are not limited to the, the corners of this nation. You can be here in Kenya working for the world.
That's true.
When you're working for the world, there is no limitation of time where we are saying our work is 8 to 5. You can be working at night when other people are sleeping. So with all those dynamics, let's appreciate and embrace the fact that we are going to receive people who are coming to us with 6 months. I was working for Hallmark Institute of Professionals for 6 months. The question is, when they come to Nation TV, what value are they adding? Again, if I have someone who is working for Nation TV, and this is what is happening on the ground, you could be working for Nation but also working for Hallmark. The question is, what are you supposed to do for Hallmark, and how are you able to do the two? As long as I gave you your targets and you're able to deliver them, what is the problem? So it's a kind of a transition in our mindsets. It's a kind of a generational transitions. I've had people saying, oh, I don't like working with Gen Zs, but I'm one person who likes working with Gen Zs because they have efficiencies that we old generation don't have. And the moment we are able to embrace that, I think we can achieve a lot. Also remembering, Gen Zs are outspoken. She talks about personalities. It's not about can I say, can I not say, am I outgoing, am I not? The moment I look at a Gen Z and they are telling me, Madam Irene, I think here we can do things different. Of course, we need to guide them on how to speak it to us in a way that we can understand and not look like they are not having what we call communication etiquette. But as this generation, we need to be able to listen to them and say, I think what you're saying is making a lot of sense. Once we get that, we will be able to build careers that last. We'll be able to build careers that we enjoy. And the bottom line of it, if that career that you enjoy is the one that is giving you the money, why not?
Why not?
Enjoy your life.
I really like that. We're due on a break, and then when we come back, like I think it was you, Susan, who said, what's the point of, first of all, understanding your personality or your money personality and not doing anything, about it. So when we come back from the break, then we'd want to understand, how do we sustain this for the rest of 2026 and even in the years to come, so that we don't find ourselves end of February to tumesahau all the goals that we set as far as our finances and our careers are concerned. But very quickly before we go on a break, just to go through 1 or 2 of your feedback on the question of the day, and that is, if you could fix just one money mistake this year, what would it be? Okay, so I see someone here who bado anasema lending money to friends. They're not doing that in 2026. Okay. And then Petronila Maria Nzobo still says, limit borrowing and lending. This is Nyagilo Felix who says, no lending money to a friend because hawatarudisha. Haya, mwingine anasema, this is last born, who says, saving much for my children. They want to fix that. Saving much for my children. There's some people who save too much for their children that they forget themselves, over saving. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. And then Muruki Josiah, who says impulse buying. And then another one says, this is Prick Teaser, who says FX Capital, nilipiga sherehe hadi ikaisha. Sahi niko kibandaski, searching for another capital. Okay, they need to fix that as well. Okay, so keep them coming. And that is at NTV Kenya across all board, in our WhatsApp number as well, 0112 500 400. We're taking a break. See you right after. All right, welcome back. The last few minutes before we say goodbye, right here on Your World. Today on Trendy Thursday, where we're tackling money and career, and we're saying 2026 is that year to make big money moves, okay? But also understanding, even as we set these goals, how do they align with who we are as a people, okay? And the question that we're asking you this morning is very simple, and that is, if you could fix one mistake this year, as far as your finances, okay, is concerned, what would it be? I'll be looking at your feedback before we end the show. But right about now, so now that we have understood, first of all, from the basics, what should be, understanding who we are as a people, understanding our goals and what we want, not just in the future, but even this year. So then how do we sustain it? Okay, and let's start from the financial perspective, right? Where we set these beautiful goals. Budget tumeweka. Najua my personality as far as money is concerned. How do we sustain this? And what are some of the things that probably we could avoid? And where does the space of flexibility come in? Because sometimes tunanini na hatu move hata kidogo, despite the fact that things might change along the way.
I think one of the most powerful things I learned when I started properly budgeting, and when I mean properly budgeting is not doing it in the quintessential right way, because there's no right or wrong way to do it. Like budgeting in a way that worked for me was, number one, understanding that no one month is the same as the other. And this is where we go wrong. So you've started the year with so much psych. You set your goals in December or in January. You attended vision board parties. You've watched your world today. You're now getting tips and pointers from these professionals. You go sit down and you do a budget. I like to tell people, life is not set on stone. So your budget cannot be set on stone. This month we have school fees. February and March we will not have school fees. April we'll have school holidays. So your food budget will do what? Kwanza, if you have 3 boys in the house. And teens, and then so you see that fluctuation. And then April there'll be Easter. You might want to take a road trip and drive where and drive. So you see, setting your budget like in a way that now I must stick to this budget for the whole year, that's where we go wrong. So one of the things we teach our clients at the Legacy Hub Kenya is to do what we call a monthly money date. So what do you do? So there are 2 very important things. Like, and this is the only sustainability plan I give my clients. Because then again, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with too many things, right? So there are only 2 things you need every month to sustain the plan that you did at the end. So remember, there's something Stan mentioned called a blueprint. So the blueprint is like what we have globally, like the Vision 2030. So we have a Vision 2030. We've not achieved everything that we're supposed to have achieved by 2030. What the Vision 2030 is, it's a blueprint to show us that these are our limits, these are the goals, these are our KPIs, this is where I want to go, right? But then strategists will tell you that the overall blueprint is usually broken down into milestones, either monthly milestones, quarterly milestones, semi-annual milestones, and so on and so forth. So I always recommend 2 things. The first thing is everyone needs a payday routine. What is a payday routine? A payday routine is what you do on the day or the day after. It should not go past the day after. Because tukishafika the day after, the damage is done.
Already done.
Exactly. So a payday routine is what you do on the day your salary comes in or on the day after your salary comes in. So it is a set of rules that you have put for yourself about what I do. So let me give you a good example. There's a principle in finance we call pay yourself first, right? I think it was on this show that I learned that people think ni kupigia mwili pole. I laughed that day.
Let me tell you, together.
But paying yourself first is just a principle for, you see, you're the one putting in the hard work, the hard hours. You're probably working with a boss you don't even like so much. Biashara imekugonga. You've not taken care of yourself, right? So those are those things we mentioned, the pension funds, the investments, the whatever. There's the overall, by the end of the year you want to have invested $1 million. But then you have this small breakdown for me to get to $1 million every month I should do that. So your payday routine is when you actually do. So you sit down with your laptop, your pay slip, whatever, your phone, and you move the money. That's the only assignment for your payday routine. Move your money. Why are we moving the money? How many times have I told myself as Susan that let me first of all pay blah, 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 then I will invest or I will save whatever is left. All of us in unison can agree that it never happens. By the time you're done, there's nothing left. So imagine ukianza mwaka hivyo, this is what Stan was saying, that the only thing that will have changed by December is your age. Because there's nothing utakuwa ume. So your payday routine is a set of rules where you say, actually especially when my salo comes in, that 1,000 bob straight into XMMF or this pension or that other thing, blah, blah, blah. I think we've learned to do that very well, especially like people who are Christians and they tithe. We've learned to do it so well in a church setting. I think it's just employing the same discipline here. So everyone needs a payday routine. And now I find this amazing. You know why? Because most people say they can't budget because their income is not regular.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's not regular.
Yeah.
So you see if someone is employed, you know it's 25th, 26th, somewhere there, or 30th. Like you know exactly when your salo comes in. Now for me as a business person, yesterday money came in. Tomorrow money will come in. It's like, so if you're not careful, you may not be able to actually plan. It's like all you just see are inflows and outflows. Like it's almost as though you do not have.
And even now, especially with the gig economy.
Exactly. Like you're an influencer, you have 3 campaigns. And then you're also doing skincare, you have like a business for selling clothes on Instagram. Are you actually tracking? So for people who do not have a regular source of income, I always recommend, like for me, I do it twice in a month. I always analyze what has come in between the 1st and the 15th. And then I do a payday routine kind of thing there. And then the next is, some people work on contract basis. You get money so your payday routine is not, delete that whole 1st to 31st. So it's when my money comes in. What do I do when the money comes in? So everyone needs a payday routine, and that is what we call your monthly money date. So as you're going to Java, vibing with your girlies, please remember one of those Java dates, even if it's in the house, it's for you to actually, you must face your finances. So you have to, most people don't want to look at receipts. You know, if you want to know, you know, you leave Naivas and right before there's like a dustbin outside there. So you don't want to see, so it's very, very important for you to face your finances because you cannot rectify things you do not even know are going wrong. You can't fix loopholes you do not know exist. So why we recommend that payday routine is that unaona by 15th when I'm checking in on my finances, najonga kanimechoma already.
Oh yeah.
Like there are things you will just know. I mean, you earn 40,000. By 16th you have 5K on you. You
and you can't explain where the 35 is.
You see, you will course correct. You will know now the outings are done until 31st or whatever. So that payday routine is very, very important. You have to face your finances and do it on a regular basis. And that's why when I was telling you I start my year slow, that's why I don't, like January is not at a big monumental month for me to do because I've been doing this. Just make it a lifestyle. Personal finance should be a lifestyle. The second thing that everyone needs to do is now those quarterly milestones. If quarterly feels too overwhelming for you, although if quarterly is overwhelming, then semi-annual will overwhelm you even more because now you've gone 6 months without actually sitting to strategize and to actually ask yourself, I'd said I will clear X amount of debt. How far am I? I'd said I'll start investing. What have I done? So I always recommend every end quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, actually sit down with your finances and check in. And maybe the last thing that I will say is get help. Why? And this is not something that has been normalized before, but I'm loving the generation, as she's saying right now, because even majority of my clients, by the way, they are young professionals. Yes, that's very young professionals. Yes, and it's because our education system, as she said, has failed us. We go to school, and I find this very ridiculous. If I count the number of years I went to school, so I did, let's assume it's the baby class. My head is mambo jumbo because as we used to do baby class, now it's playgroup, nurseries, now GPP1, all of that. All I know is that it's 3 years preschool. 8 years maybe what we used to call primary. So that is 11 years. Add 4. That is 14. 11 plus 4, 15 years high school. And then add another 4 in uni, we are already at 19. Now, if you're going to be doing a postgraduate course, blah, 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 it could be more. But let's even just for the sake of this discussion, cap it at 19 if you'll go all the way to uni. In those 19 years, I do not see a module, a subject, a teacher, an instructor telling these people what to do when they finally earn that money.
Exactly.
You've taught us, you've told us, soma upate upate kazi mzuri, upate pesa. Imeishia hapo. Nikipata hiyo pesa. So you see, and that's why I tell my clients, there's absolutely no shame in not knowing how to budget. There's no shame in that 2026, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50. You don't even know the investments available in Kenya. There's no shame. You know why? We were failed. Yeah, no one taught me how to budget. No one taught me this is what a budget looks like. This is how you save. This is what inflation is. There are things Stan is mentioning, I bet, you know, we may understand them because we're in the field. But like, even as I was listening to him, I'm like, kai, lab data kuna mtu anashanga, says in him a what, you know? And it's not that person's fault, So the moment you stop waiting on the government, waiting on society, I don't know who society is, waiting on, it's almost as though you're waiting for someone to come save you. You must go out to get the help. So if you don't do, I think for me, financial literacy will pay you the best return in 2026. Exactly. So learn what you don't know and don't be like, ati, oh, mi niko 15 nafaa kwa nikijua. Apana, no one knows. We've all learned
along the way.
Exactly.
I see that. Thanks, Susan. And when it comes to careers as well, and sustaining that, because there's so much that we've talked about in terms of just thinking beyond the career and thinking beyond what you studied in school. Sustainability and looking at what 2026 looks like for the people, especially those ones in formal employment, what would you say is probably the best way to just sustain and even grow further this year and the years beyond?
I would start by saying we are in the digital age. So the basic and the foundation today and in the near future and in the future is digital literacy. I know we are talking about AI. AI is just part of it, because if you don't know computers and digital literacy basics, you can't go into AI. So we are this year now, AI is taking our jobs. And I want to make a very interesting statement that AI will take your jobs, but not for everyone. The people who will adapt.
My heart sank for a second.
And that's why I'm saying it slowly. By the way, to confirm that yes, AI will take your jobs. But before you misquote me or get to think, it will only take jobs for the people who do not adapt and adapt quickly. There is something that sounded like a lot of noise about AI for people over 40. And the other day I just...
advert you see on YouTube and then they tell you, if you want to be dangerous in the next 20
Now that I didn't like the way they presented it, but I can tell you the message is landing. And I say this because I'm over 40, proudly so. For the people who are over 40, let me say it again. Please get into the artificial intelligence. Why? At over 40, by the way, for me, would not even be a fear that I will not be employed. I pray that everybody will have outgrown that at 40, that I'm not afraid. You know, she said, if you're sitting there and thinking, if I was fired tomorrow, I'm afraid. At 40, and of course I'm using that for the sake of this conversation and what has been happening. At 40, I pray and I wish that everybody will be at that point where they are not afraid to be fired. Because you're so built, you're such an asset by yourself that if you left, I'm not saying you leave, if you left NTV, it would just be about change of platforms. So many other NTVs will be waiting for you out there, including those that are already established, or you can establish your own. We talked about there not being jobs in Kenya. Today I get, you know, for the four of us who are seated here, and even the team that is on the other side, I want to believe kwetu masaa ndio machache. Why she said about women doing so many things, sometimes when you call them, they're not able to respond quickly. Why? Because we have so much that we are doing, only that time is, of course, fixed, or do I say limited? So for the people over 40, please get into the AI. For the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, the people who are born after computer, this is your life. There is no excuse to it. So what is the future of careers and job today? Technology is. Because with technology, you become so efficient, you're able to do so much, you can be able to earn more by adapting to technology. So that is the future. Number two, like she said, I would advise, please, in all you do, get a coach. Don't walk in your life blindly. Whether it's a life coach, whether it's a career coach, whether it's a financial coach, I can confirm that my life took a different trajectory the moment I embraced coaching. Different trajectory. So if you can be able to adopt, you know, coaching, you will be able to move very fast. And finally, always ensure that you are adding value to yourself. I look forward to seeing people who have so much to offer that they come to you, they have a value proposition, they go here, they have a value proposition. Those are the people that you watch and say, this one cannot be without a job. Above all, creating job for others is one of the things that we need to do.
I like that. I really like that. And Stanley, when you come out to Malaysia show, because we have very few minutes left, right? In terms of so understanding, building a portfolio, looking at all these opportunities, because we can't sit here and say, me, I'm too young to start investing, or I don't have enough to start investing, because like we said, there are opportunities that covers every single person at different spaces. So then sustaining that and making that a habit, so that we don't just go heavy investing in 2026 and wealth creation, then 2027, we have forgotten and we are focused on other things. Making that as a habit, what would you say?
Somebody help me has sacrificed very many financial destinies. The weak thought that the help you require is going to come outside of you is what is probably delaying your financial journey. What we do with our mentees is that we've developed a structural way of starting your wealth journey. So you start your wealth journey by going to corawealth.com and taking a quick score so that we know where you are. I'm coming to your question. Once we know where you are, in 2 minutes, I'm giving you a 90-day plan to see if you're serious.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the 90 days, very simple objectives. Remember, again, wealth is built by objectives. That is data, right? But over and above coming to a place of having a plan, what will make the difference and keep you in the journey is accountability. We did find in using African data that individuals who have some form of accountability, could it be either digital, physical, or otherwise, outperformed those who didn't by 75%. And it's one of the things that the wisest man who ever lived said, that if two work together, there is a greater reward for their labor. And a three-corded strand is not easily broken. So that accountability can begin to make the difference between those who win and those who lose. Haven't you seen this, should I say, this reality, that many times your likings and dislikings are defined by your company? So if you are in a company where people are talking about buying apartments, they're talking about going to the gym, they're talking about loving their wives, they're talking about building family. When you do anything other than that, it becomes very awkward for you. But if you are in a company where people are talking about taking fast loans, people are talking about betting, people are talking about form, though it becomes very awkward for you to try and do anything else other than that. So choosing your spaces in 2026 is going to be absolutely critical. Wealth is built in numbers. There is nothing as beautiful as building wealth in ranks. In our community, we ensure that people are walking in ranks. And we even have an index so that you can check. She mentioned it. You can be at 10,000 shillings, but your financial behavior will accelerate your net worth journey. You can be at 400,000 shillings per month, but your bad financial behavior will decelerate your wealth. As a matter of fact, we did a very interesting study. You know, while the government will investigate the source of your wealth, I investigate the source of your poverty. So I do have yes, we do. You can do it right now. It's a 1,600 variable examination, which we are calling the wealth test. You can go and do it right now, corawealth.com. You start right now. And we investigate the source of your poverty so that you don't catch an attitude. So we can now take those insights and craft a blueprint that is as unique as your fingerprint. That's the whole idea. So that we increase.
The source is you.
You see, we want to increase. What planning does, planning does not guarantee destination. Planning increases the possibility of arrival. So we are increasing the possibility of arrival by having a plan, and then we have accountability. She talked about 3 months. In our community, 3 months is the longest. We want to be having this conversation every month. By the way, I did find a study that showed that individuals who examine their financial ecosystem at least once a week outperform those who don't by 30%. If net worth is the dependency variable that if you are tracking net worth and analysis, you will find individuals that have higher analysis meetings or the payday rituals. People who have such meetings weekly outperform those who don't by 30%. How will you stay to the plan this year? The first one, if you're going to stay to the plan, you must have a plan.
Yeah.
The second one, absolutely. And the second one, you need to bring accountability into your life. One last statement. I found a German psychologist who argued that one of the biggest, should I say, maintenance of the path is public declaration. Saying what you're going to do. Absolutely. That goals, when they become public, they help you with the discipline. So outrightly saying, I remember one of the things the young wife of my youth used to challenge me on. I used to have a proper gut. Yeah, I had to have proper gut. And we even took a video because she said, you're just talking. I said, I'm going to do a video today that in a short while, I'm going to cut the stomach. You see, that public declaration will keep you accountable. Number second one is negative, should I say negative inspiration? Negative inspiration is go and look for people who told you can't do it. That's very good. Yeah, absolutely. You see now, negative motivation that I want to prove them wrong. Oh my, you will wake up in the... When you remember what the hater said, baby, you'll wake up. You will wake up. You jump out of that bed and say, now I'm about to teach some people some lessons.
Yeah, I see that. There's actually one question for you, and probably you can answer this in like 30 seconds if you can. This is from Hilary Koech, who says, Lubembe, I am sitting here with my dad watching, and please ask Agacho to confirm that debt kills ambition, because my dad depends on that. Just last month, his tea farm produced a capital of 100,000 shillings, but the loan repayment cut 93,000 shillings. And now we had to borrow for school fees, and he is stubborn. And because I'm 23, he disregards my opinion on that matter.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful question. I'll answer it this way. Do you know, Winnie, all of us are in a farm?
All of us are in a farm.
You've never heard this statement where somebody says, I can't believe this organization, they are milking me dry.
Yes.
Are you seeing what I'm talking about now? All of us, even this camera lady, she's smiling very bad. She's being milked right now. That's what's happening. They have to work to pay for their life. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? Now, there's no problem being in the milk farm as long as you're also milking somebody else. As long as you're also milking, meaning as you're being milked here, the structure is giving you the advantage to also milk somebody else, because when you deploy your capital for investment, for saving, and you're buying the future, somebody else is now working for you. Now, how do you know that the milking is about to milk you dry? Is if in your portfolio, personal debt, i.e. debt for consumption, not debt for investment, debt for as long as debt for consumption exists in your portfolio, you're being milked dry, you're financially unconscious, you're completely asleep. And because this is a country, can you imagine this is a country where we tell graduates, asset finance. Can you imagine that you finish with the first increase of your strength, you must now go and buy a car. And it's even called asset finance by people who should be telling us what assets are. Get out of here. What are you talking about? So anytime you see non-productive high-interest personal debt or even traditional debt that was for consumption spending, just know you are completely financially asleep. Now, it gets worse. If you're already in debt, right? You're already in debt now. There's one ratio I want you to check. Go and take your debt and then divide it by your net worth. All the things you own minus all the things you owe. If you take your debt divided by that, if that ratio is more than 30%, now you're not only a proper cow, but you're now the one now recruiting other cows to be milked. Because what happens is when debt is in your life, every day in the morning, you are working for somebody else other than yourself. And it gets worse. What is the main reason for debt? The main reason for debt, I want you to go and check. Go and check the Consumer Price Index. The #1 leading reason of emergency loans, they say it's emergencies. When you check that emergencies, it's electronics. It is holiday. Are you seeing what I'm talking about?
Taking someone on a date.
Taking somebody on a date. That is what we have now called emergency. And what will happen now? You go and borrow against a future that you don't have. You're financially unconscious.
Let me tell you, we'll find a a way to link Hillary with you so that, because I know they have so many questions in terms of that, how do they help their dad really see from where they sit. But for now, watch out to say me goodbye. Thank you so much, guys. I have learned so much from today's conversation. And like I have kept saying the entire week, I'm happy that I did not do my goals yet, because I usually do it on my birthday in December. So I didn't do it because I really wanted to understand and learn how to do things differently from what we've been doing. So learning, okay? This whole week has been a week of learning. But for now, thank you so much, Stan Stanagachi, who's a real estate investor as well as wealth strategist. Coach Irene Nyaga, career coach, and as well as managing director, Hallmark Institute of Professionals, and Suzanne Wanjiku, personal finance coach, and I want to believe director, managing director, the Hub, right?
Yeah,
the Legacy Hub. KE, thank you so much for coming, and all the very best, because I'm sure you also have your own goals. So all the very best, right?
Thank you so
as
much
far
for
as your
having
goals
us.
are concerned. Well, we'll see you tomorrow on Entertainment Friday right here on Your World. But until then, God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.